Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
If for those of you who live in Boca Raton or the environs, you will know that there are so many great shows coming, and you wonder who's running all this. Well, I'll tell you a secret. It's Carol KASSIE, and I've been working with Carol. I just can't believe all the work that she does. Now, one thing, she's very sweet. She is up in Ontario. I mean, she's up in Canada, and she's doing this as a favor. She's calling in, interrupting her vacation, because she thinks it's pretty important to talk about the Mersey Beatles, who are coming to Boca Raton. So welcome to our show, Carol.
Thank you. I'm really pleased to be here, or there.
Yeah, here, everywhere, right? Especially without the hurricane. So this is my question. They are a tribute. We call them the Tribute Beatles, and that's because they're paying a tribute to the Beatles, but they do impersonate them in many ways. I mean, they look like them, they sing like them. So tell us about this.
Well, the Mersey Beatles were actually there. They are the official tribute band for the Beatles. They have been vetted and are approved by Julia Baird, who is John Lennon's sister. And John Lennon's sister runs the Cavern Club. And for those people who are Beatles aficionados, they will know that the Cavern Club was the place where the Beatles actually sort of got started, perfected their act, and wrote some of their early work. So these guys, the lads from Liverpool, the Mersey Beatles, are the real deal.
When you think about that, of course, you know, there was a movie that just came out, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. I saw it, where you know that, I don't know if you saw that, was it, no, I can't remember it, I'll think of it, but a gentleman who somehow hit his head, came back as, you know, and people hadn't heard about the Beatles. And so he came up with all these wonderful songs, and they loved him. He became so popular. And there's something about the Beatles, though, that, I don't know, it was the music, it was who they were, just lovely. I can't wait to see this tribute.
Apparently, they are terrific. They're only going to be here in Florida for one night, October 5th. They grew up as childhood friends, just like the Beatles, in Liverpool, just like the Beatles, and they, as I say, are the official Beatles tribute band, and they represented the city of Liverpool, actually, from 2002 to 2012, as the resident tribute band at the Cavern Club. They've been playing together since 1999, so they're well-versed in Beatles lore and Beatles music. They're going to be doing, because it's, believe it or not, the 50th anniversary of the Abbey Road album. I know. They're going to be doing almost the entire album live, plus other Beatles songs. One of the things that's really cool is they really recreate the Beatles sound and image. They use replica Hofner, Rickenbacker, and Gretsch guitars and VOX and Ludwig gear. So they're, as I say, they're the real deal.
And they're only going to be here once in October. Let me tell everybody again, Saturday, October the 5th at 8 o'clock, and it's over there at Mizner Park Cultural Center. Now, I'm going to give you a phone number. Remember, this is Pencil Talk Radio, so I'm going to give you a phone number to call so that you can buy your tickets. I think the center is not that large, so they can't hold 5,000 people. And I think you're going to find a lot of people coming, so you want to get your tickets as soon as you can. Write this down. It's 844-672-2849. Again, 844-672-2849. And it's over the Mizner Park Cultural Center. So let's talk about them. Now, this is what they do all over the country. I mean, they're doing here in Boca Raton. All over the world.
All over the world. They're going to be coming in from elsewhere. They will have done a concert on October 3rd. I can't remember where, but they really bounce all over the world for the past 20-some-odd years.
And do they dress like the Beatles? They must.
They dress like the Beatles. They look like the Beatles. If you go to the Mizner Cultural Arts Center website, actually, I think you can see photos. I will give you that
I have that
address.
MiznerParkCulturalCenter.com. Right?
Exactly.
And then you'll be able to see them. Yeah, I did get on there, but I did it pretty quickly. But so, how old are they actually? Do you know?
I don't know.
They probably wouldn't tell you anyway.
They probably wouldn't tell me, but since they've been playing together since 1999,
right.
My impression would be that they're, well aged.
Right, but they have the music and they have the group with them to do this. So this is just absolutely lovely. So doing this though, what is it about people? They just keep wanting to relive their lives, because the people who are here and want to see the Beatles, I mean, they are certainly in their 60s, I have to assume,
right.
at this point.
Right.
This will be a big joy for them, and the music, I think, is going to go wild. I mean, if it really sounds that good, you're going to have a lot of yelling and screaming and clapping.
And a lot of singing along.
Right.
But, if you think, over the past 6 months or so, the movies that have been released, the Bohemian Rhapsody about
right.
Queen
right.
and Rocket Man about Elton John,
right.
and both of those films did extremely well at the box office
right.
because people, first of all, I think are revisiting their youth, absolutely, right. but also because the music was just that good.
And, I just remembered the name of the movie was Yesterday. It was Yesterday, and I saw it, and the music, do you know, at the end of the show, you get up and leave? We didn't. A lot of us just sat there because we were so mesmerized by that music.
Yeah. And look at Paul McCartney is still touring.
Right.
And pulling in huge crowds. And all over the world. As a matter of fact, this is a bit of trivia or whatever, we went to see Paul McCartney, my husband and I, several years ago, and he told a very funny story. He said he hadn't realized how all over the world they were loved until he was in Japan. And he had gone for a massage, and he asked for a massage, and the hotel where he was staying sent out a masseuse who spoke absolutely no English and, proceeded to give him an extremely excellent massage. And he realized that as she was doing it, she was humming Yesterday.
Oh, no.
Right.
Oh, no, that's great. Right?
Yeah.
Well, and in this movie, I have to tell you that because the people had never heard in the movie any of the Beatles songs, so they loved it. And then when it came to Yes, Jude,
mm-hmm. Oh,
they said, no, we don't like that name. It should be Yes, Dude. And we all laughed, right.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. Well, they certainly were and are. That's why it's great that you're bringing this back, and I'm glad they found you. And the Mizner Park is a beautiful venue for this to happen.
Right. Well, actually, Mizner Park, the show is being brought in by a gentleman by the name of Kevin Barrett, who is general managing there and doing an extremely good job. He's making it a real go-to destination because aside from the Beatles, the Mersey lads, he's bringing in a bunch of other really interesting shows from now, actually, from September 21st is the first one, through next May.
Huh.
And, right. Some of them are one-offs. Some of them, like the Mersey Beatles, it's just one concert. The first one is very exciting as well. It's a group called the Victory Dolls. And the name of the show is I Left My Heart at the Stage Door Canteen. And it's a vintage Andrews Sisters inspired musical harmony group. But what's really exciting about this one is that it is starring literally an all-star group of South Florida actresses, singers, award-winning women who, to listen to these people just even one at a time, some of them have won Carbonell Awards, which are the South Florida equivalent of the Tony Awards, and they are making their debut on September 21st at Mizner. The same phone number and the same website is good for that.
Well, let me just interrupt you 1 minute to tell you something. That it's been a long time, but Mizner Park needed something like this because they had planned years ago when they first developed it, and it just hasn't really caught up to all the beauty that's there. And now this is making the difference, and I'm so glad that you're in charge of bringing these shows in. I am, because you're quite a pistol. I've been working with you, and I'm glad to hear this. But, Carol, we'd be really happy to do anything we can to be with you to enhance the Mizner Park, the whole park.
That would be great. Well, I will let Kevin know, because he's really the guy. I'm very happy to be part of this, doing their marketing and public relations, and you doing this for us is really most appreciated. There's some fun things. There's Florida's
Go ahead and tell us what's on board.
Florida's funniest comedians. There's one called The Thunder from Down Under, and if you want to look at the website and see a picture of these guys, it's a perfect girls' night out, or a perfect girls' night out back. These are very cheeky guys, chiseled bodies, dance routines. Might be fun. There's the classic one that's been touring, a show called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus in November. There's a show called Moon River, the songs of Johnny Mercer. That's going to be also in November. And there's Something Like a Dame starring Michael Walters as, remember, Dame Edna? So he's going to impersonate Dame Edna again in November. Should be fun. We have Maureen McGovern, who people have heard of, I think.
Yes.
We have Tova Feldscha, who's a very, an award-winning Broadway actress, and she is going to be debuting a show called Leona. Remember Leona Helmsley, the hotel lady?
Oh my goodness! So this is is this a one-woman show?
This is going to be a one-person show. She's 6-time Tony and Emmy-nominated star of The Walking Dead, and she's featuring. This is going to feature highlights from the new Broadway-bound musical Queen of Mean, Leona Helmsley. We have a Carole King tribute. We have something called, this looks really good, The Secret Comedy of Women. Is a laugh-out-loud theatrical celebration. It's immersive, that exuberantly triumphs over the challenges of womanhood. It's a 2-woman show, and it looks like it's a lot of fun. There's one called Tea for 3 about Lady Bird, Pat, and Betty, a 1-person show, all the first ladies. A couple of Streisand tributes. And then, I'm not sure if any of your listeners have heard of a show called Wiesenthal. It was written by a fellow by the name of Tom Duggan and played here several times to great critical acclaim. He's written another one called Tevye in New York, and it's a world premiere going to Broadway, and it's based on the characters of Shalom Aleichem. So that's March 26th to April 5th, and I could go on and on if there are any more that you want to know. Well, I would be happy to tell you.
You know, I had the privilege of seeing there.
Wiesenthal?
Well, no. About a year ago, something called Rose, and it was Rose Kennedy.
Right.
And I wish you could bring that back. It was there only one night, and it was spectacular.
Right.
Did you see that?
No, but I heard it was fantastic.
Yeah, and I just couldn't believe it. No one had heard of it before. And this woman, she just never stopped for the whole show, and it was beautiful. I think people would like that. I don't know if you are in charge of anything like that, but I hope you can find it.
I will certainly find out. I do know that I had heard wonderful things about it, and I will find out from Kevin whether he can bring it back or not, because I had heard not only from you but from others that people really, really enjoyed it, and she did a wonderful job.
Well, tell me about you a little bit. Now, you're quite a pistol. Tell me how you got involved in all this.
I, believe it or not, have a degree in theater from what used to be Sir George Williams University in Montreal, Canada. It's now Concordia University. And so I've always, I think, when I was very, very young, I had a great passion for theater. I loved it, and I was going to be the next Katharine Hepburn.
So what happened?
What happened was life intervened, and I have a wonderful husband and 2 wonderful children.
Right.
But I always kept my finger in a little bit, did some local television in Ottawa, Canada. And when we moved to Florida, I got involved really quite funnily. I arranged a theater trip to a show that a friend of mine was in. And I thought, well, we'd get about 10 or 15 people, and we ended up with 70 some odd, and lunch and whatever. And at the end of the day, which was very successful, the theater offered me a job.
Oh.
And the rest, as they say, is history. It was actually the Quillo Center before it was Palm Beach Drama Works. And
well, wait, I have something to tell you. Before it was the Quillo Theater, it was Florida Repertory Theater, and I was the chairman of the board for 7 years there.
You're kidding.
No.
That's so interesting. No, interesting. So, well, when I was there, I guess I was started around 2004. I started there, and I ended up as their marketing person. Uh-huh. And it meant that I could be in a theater, I could be working at theater, but I didn't have to be on stage at the theater, which was just fine for me.
Right.
And I loved being able to say that, yes, I put those butts in the seats. That's what I really want to do.
Yeah, because your enthusiasm, though, you see, even just like now, here you're on vacation and you're talking about it, but you can't miss this. You just can't, and it's going to happen very quickly. October the 5th, we're going to talk about the Mersey. It's the
Mercy,
the Mersey Beatles. 4 lads from Liverpool at Mizner Park Cultural Center. And I'm going to give now one thing that Carol did say, and I think you should do that. Go on the website so you can see all the other things. I'm going to do that. Right. We're almost out of time, but it's MiznerParkCulturalCenter.com, and the phone number to call is 844. Let's see, 672-2849. 844-672-2849. And that's how you're going to be able to find out what's going on. And it's really great that you're bringing in these are unusual. I don't know any other place that's bringing in the kinds of things that you are. And so are you arranging them, or is this Kevin is doing that? And
it's Kevin who's doing the arranging, yeah. Mm-hmm. He's really decided that we've all, everybody has said, as we said before, that Mizner is just a wonderful venue.
Yeah.
And that we've just got to get people going there. When you think about it, there's parking. Mm-hmm. There's an incredible number of fabulous restaurants, anything from, fast food to fine dining. Mm-hmm. There's shops. There's so much to do there. And having the theater there, and it's been there for a long, long time, is just a bonus. And, I think that once we get people in the mood or in the mode of going there not only to dine and shop, but to get some culture, I think that we're looking at just a wonderful thing for everybody in Boca.
Yeah, it's perfect. I don't know where you live, but I live in Boynton Beach. I used to live in Boca, and that whole area was great. And I remember the Cartoon Museum. That's why that building was built. And somehow it just didn't make it. And I've always felt badly about Mizner Park. Right. It was there, but if guests came to your house, it wasn't a place, let's go to Mizner Park. It wasn't something, but now it's going to be thanks to you and to Kevin, and I'm so happy. I want to be a part of it because I think that it's what people want. You're right. There's safety, there's parking, there's the restaurants.
There's even valet parking.
I know.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just the perfect, what is better than dinner and theater? Or theater and dinner, whichever way you want to go.
Right. Well, I have to throw in something. I do go to the Wick Theater a lot. I also go to Palm Beach Drama Works and I go to the Kravis Center a lot. So I'm very much like you. I'm very much into theater. But this does add something different. This is a whole evening. Right.
And it's right there. It's all within walking distance. Mm-hmm. You can just hop from one to the other, which is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And So.
Well, Carol, KASSIE, you are really you're going to make this all happen, and I'm so glad that we're going to be seeing the Mersey Beatles. People, please. It's not very expensive. What do the shows generally cost that come in?
They're anywhere from
$39, it says, to $55. Pretty much.
You know what? The prices for all these shows range from about $25 to $65.
Okay.
That's for the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the theatrical events or some of the theatrical pieces are probably a bit more expensive because it is a theatrical piece. So there are many more things rather than just coming in, setting up your instruments.
Right.
So, but I still think that $65, even, the top, is really reasonable for live theater or live entertainment.
Well, think about these people coming in. There are 4 of them, right?
Right.
And they're coming from heaven knows where. I don't know if they're coming from London, but they're somewhere else, you said before this. And so, they have to be paid, and it's a very comfortable, lovely place to come. And of course, now you don't have to worry about the weather either. That's another important part.
Right.
Because we used to be outside, up at the amphitheater.
Right. Exactly.
So
it's an intimate space. It seats, maximum seats, I believe, are 224.
Right.
And it's what's called, actually, it's an interesting, just so that your listeners know, it's what's called a flex space, so that it can be set up in any way. It can be set up a theater in the round. It can be set up, on the floor, all sorts of things. And so that's a fun thing about that particular venue as well.
Yeah, no, it's great, and I'm glad that you've come on and you've taken time away from your vacation, and so.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm looking actually at a beautiful lake and some boats and a whole bunch of trees.
But that's where you're from. You said you're actually from Canada.
I am.
So this is fun. So how long are you going to be away?
Well, we were planning on coming back on Sunday, but I'm not quite sure now.
Oh, you're
with
right.
The weather.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen?
We're waiting to see.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I have another interview coming up, and it's interesting. I hadn't heard of this before, but there's a new web series launching. It's called The Windy City Nanny. Have you heard about that yet? Oh, no. It's Florence Ann Romano. She's starring in a new web series created to help families grow stronger. So that's it's something else. It's just lovely. All this live stuff and all these things happening, and it helps with all the horrible politics going on. It gets your mind off of all this, right?
Right.
Let's just enjoy our life. And you said you have 2 children, so do you have grandchildren?
Absolutely.
Do they live down here?
No, they're all in Canada, which is why we're here.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, right. Well, that's wonderful. And I thank you for taking time out to do this. And I will definitely see you, if not before October 5th. I just definitely want to see that.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Thank you so much, Carol.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.